Hello, everybody. It is I, your most beloved Mayor Margrave of the Ghost Town, Matilda Portier, or you can just call me Mettie. I'm actually, the reason why I send a little bit off is I'm sending the goat room code into chat in the Discord. So if you are interested in joining this session, feel free. Today, I wanted to get some writing in, some work in, because there's a lot I want to work on, a lot I need to do, and I found that writing it out and formatting it is a really good way for me to actually keep things well organized, and structure how I'm gonna handle a lot of things. Right now, I am drinking Liu Bao Black Jasmine Tea from Jesse's Tea House from Wuzhou, Guangxi Province, China. That's the tea that I'm drinking. As per usual, got the Helsing soundtrack going, which for some reason is not that copyrighted, so good. That's lucky for me. Cotton! Welcome in! Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. This time I've actually opened up the Go room, so if anybody has Go, they can join in with their little avatar and hang out and do things. How are you doing? It's so early, isn't it? I know. That's one of the problems I have, is I'm never awake at the same hours. Streaming schedule? Sorry, I don't know her. I cannot control my sleeping schedule. It's a uncontrollable storm. Oh. I currently have my writing software open, and there's nothing as overwhelming as looking at a blank screen. It's infinite. There's infinite possibilities. What is your writing software? I use LibreOffice because it's open source. So like it doesn't use AI shit or any bullshit. It's, you know, you can look at all the code, so I like it that way. Yeah. So overwhelming, isn't it? That's something too, is I'm trying not to force anything today. I've been needing to de-stress way more. And a lot of times I feel like my best writing comes forth and like my best work comes when I just relax and I try not to force anything. I got a message yesterday because somebody followed me on Tumblr after I posted like my Westeros fan art up there, and I got a message where it's like commissions open ? I'm like, oh god. Just the idea of having to draw something, I'm like, ugh. What do you mean? You cannot force me to do anything. And that's the funny thing too, is are commissions open, Mettie? I literally changed my title on Tumblr to say commissions closed when I saw it. But okay. I wouldn't have done that if the Tumblr account that asked about it had like an actual like posts. It has like one post on Tumblr. And so I'm like, that's probably a bot or a scammer then. You know what I mean? I also got a message where it's like, beautiful art, open to collaborations, reach out. And so then I check their account and there's like no post. And it's like, okay. The bots are like, hello. And they could be a real person, right? There are some people I know who just like use Tumblr for browsing, but like, if I don't see a record of you existing and supporting artists, you know what I mean? Like, that's on the fence. Most of my commissions come from my Twitter, which I haven't uploaded in 5,000,000 years, but I don't like using Twitter. I go on my Twitter. That's a nice bot. Hello, I am human. Your art is beautiful. Mm-hmm. I mean, out of all the bots to get, at the very least, it's like, I'm so tired of like horny singles in your area. Leave me alone. I do not care. I already have to reject real women on the daily. Not on the daily, but pretty commonly. So, yeah. I don't need fucking bots. That's something that, like, it's really not that hard to find a nice woman to, like, be with. And, like, that's something, too, is, one, you don't think of them as just general objects that you want to fulfill your desires or, like, fulfill your insecurities. What you do is you just listen. You find somebody that you care about, that you have some hobbies in general, and then you just listen and care about them. And that's it. It's really that simple. Because, like, and also don't force anything. It's really not that difficult. Pro points if you're good at pampering people and listening, though. Pretty much every single girl that I'm friends with, that's just what they want. This world sucks. Make them a nice latte or a cup of coffee or some tea when they're not feeling well. Like, it's not that difficult. And then men are even more simple. Just be kind to them. But it's hard to find one that won't treat you like shit, though. But even then, it's just like, you know, you just gotta open up more doorways. Also matters on location, too. But I have 0 relationship experience with guys, so I can't really talk on it. Though I would like to try it at some point, but what am I writing? Oh, Hellsing soundtrack. Give me strength. I was thinking about putting on something else, but I don't know why. It's just my neurons activate whenever I'm listening to the Hellsing soundtrack. Men love when you're nice to them. It's kind of depressing. I think they deserve more kindness. That's true. Listening to them, caring about what they have to say, and just being kind. Also, a lot of men are, like, very touch-starved, so, like, even sometimes just, like, a nice, like, hand on the shoulder. It's easy. I remember back when, Nina Kosaka was still around and Vesper Noir hadn't left Hollow Stars. Nina had this quote where it's like, dating advice, like, men are easy, just be kind to them. And it's like, yeah. So that every act of kindness isn't perceived as flirting. Oh my god, I've actually had it be a problem where men I was not interested in thought I had feelings for them just for being kind, and it's like, what the hell? Cotton, have you gotten to the point of, Happy Shitty Life when they're in, like, Tokyo? Because sometimes men remind me of, like, Kazuya's, co-worker, the, like, younger girl who thinks that everybody's flirting and hitting on her. And she's like, sorry, like, you're not my type. And people are like, what the fuck? I was just saying something. I don't think so. Oh, that character reminds me so much. Where she's, like, genuinely, like, just convinced, like, oh my god, they're fighting over me. And it's like, no, they literally aren't thinking about her at all. And the character's really cute. She's really funny. But there's, like, oh my god, I was thinking about several, both men, mostly men, but some also girls that I know. She's literally me. She's really good. I think I'd like her. But, that's something that, like, I found really funny because I had this previous friend group I was in, like, several years ago, and I was, like, kind of not, you know, when you're, like, just nice to people, like, obviously I'm nice to everybody and I try and do things, but, you know, when you're, like, I don't really get along with this person, I mean, like, I do my best, but, like, they are just kind of annoying. But I'm somebody that I'll never let somebody know that because I value people. And there was this one guy who was a few years younger than me in this friend group who was just really arrogant, like, huge time, like, just, like, like, he was, like, really proud of being from the West Coast and was like, everybody's trying to be in the West Coast. And it's like, okay, first off, a lot of the culture STEM and I would go through into history, like, because I'm an educator, art. And it's like, this is just a younger guy who just clearly is just, you know, being a young man sucks, so I was just patient with him. And I found out later from a friend that he thought that I had feelings from the whole time. It's like, dude, I literally just thought of him as, like, I pitied him as a youth. That's why I was treating him that way. And I started cracking up so bad because, like, my friend was like, I don't think you have feelings for him, but he was really convinced, and was like, how do I reject them? I did not! I was just kind to him. And I didn't even like him that much. It was more like, okay, I guess, like, in this when he's around, I'll just be really kind. Just because it's like, but I would still like, I wasn't even that nice to him compared to like most, like the people I was actually close with. Yeah, it's weird though when you're in friend groups and there's just too many goddamn people. I'm very much a one-on-one type of person. And I like chatting, like having, you know, Discord chat and talking with the ghost townies and stuff. Because like, but that's different though. I don't know, it's easier. But no, he was so delusional. But he's so into me, how do I reject him? And that's the thing is like, it's really funny because like, I was honestly kind of condescending to him because I'm like, oh, this poor guy, he's kind of stupid. I feel bad for him. Yeah. Me looking down on him, he's like, damn, they're into me. No, I wasn't. I was actually, oh my god. Yeah. But it's been a long time. I'm still friends with some of the people in that friend group, but I'm very much somebody who will enter a friend group. I usually like everybody when I first meet them, of course. Then as time goes on, you realize more and more like incompatibility. I don't know what he's on. Honestly, no, I couldn't. I have to stay humble. By the 9, I have to stay humble. That's the shit. I was complaining to Sola about this the other day. I was complaining because I keep getting way too many fucking compliments on my YouTube videos. It's been pissing me off. Ever since I posted my first fucking cover song, I was expecting hate. I'm like, oh my god, my covers are the worst. I'm waiting for the hate. I literally want to see the haters. I need to be humbled. I need people to be genuine with me. And fucking nobody has been rude to me. I have too many fucking videos, including YouTube Shorts. And everybody's just nice. I'll be your first hater, don't worry. Cotton Kisses, shout out. My first op. Under every single video. God, I hate this bitch. Something too is I also upload to TikTok. And I never go on TikTok. And I just like, because when you like post, like when you clip on Twitch, you can just import to YouTube and, you know, TikTok from that. And so I'll upload from like Twitch and then I'll just never check it. And I just checked it the other day and it like got overwhelmed because I'm like, why are there so many fucking nice comments? Leave me alone. I can't wait to blow up and then get hate. I don't know, it's weird. I get uncomfortable with too much care, I guess. Also, like, I don't have many readers of my webcomic. Also, most of the people who actually read my webcomic, like, access it from different sources. Nobody has, like, a global comics account who, like, reads it, and that's where it's hosted. And so, like, but the few people, like, who have commented are like, wow, this is really good. The art is beautiful. I'm looking forward to the rest of the chapters. I'm like, what the fuck? Might be because you're doing nothing wrong. That's wrong. Everywhere else is so, I don't know. I'm so used to, like, seeing the internet be an evil place, and then people are just incredibly nice and wonderful, and it's like, what do you mean I have faith in humanity? That's so odd. I don't know. Because, like, even, like, the, like, not positive comments I've gotten still aren't hate. One of them was just being terrified of my model, but that's not hate, that's just... You're gonna have nightmares about my model later. That's a compliment also, though. I mean, I am literally a nightmare demon, so that's my job. That's how you feed me. Oh. I can't wait till they add more clothes into Go. I'm procrastinating now. Currently, this is my model off of my current. That's a Ghosttownmettie, literally. A nightmare demon being in people's nightmares? And that's the funny thing, is the clip had nothing to do with that. I I like that the eyes are like slightly darker. Just like me, for real, for real. I love the character creation in this. I can't edit it right now though because this is open. Oh, I totally forgot to ask that you're writing. I don't know yet. I have several things I can work on with writing. One, I could actually start working on a D&D campaign. Two, I could just be writing information down on the ghost town, working on the lore. Three, I could fanboy out and write a self-insert character into Westeros in Storm's End, the Chancellor version of me, which would be fun. I don't know, there's a lot I could write right now, but it's just... Oh god, I have too many projects. Or I could work on also some of my original stories, like the Abyssal World. I've literally just keep pouring myself tea and then just, like... Actually, let me see. Can I turn this? Just a minute. Oh, it's not plugged in, that's why. OMG, I was asking my friend earlier about DMing advice. Ooh! Let me know if you ever want some advice or if you're working on anything. I love DMing. God, I need to work on like lore build. Yeah. Well, first, you have to figure out who your players are. Now, there's several different ways to handle the beginning of a campaign. Now, do you have players that are like, hey, would you mind DMing for us? So you already have them in a group, or are you planning on DMing for strangers or just general DMing advice, right? For me, I think that it's important to make sure to have information in advance that is important. So know your setting, know the location, and know it's gonna be handled. Now, for me, I love improv, and I like just letting my viewers wander. The thing is, we're all switching being the DM, and we've almost done at least 10 sessions together. Interesting. Okay, so you're in for one-shots? So you know them pretty well. Okay. Like, I have one, and also it's important, like, for instance, I love to run my campaigns actually in Faerun, which is like the D&D location. And so then you figure out what place, and maybe 3 shots, all right. And so, like, you choose, like, what conflict would be interesting to them. Or maybe, oh, because, I don't know, I'm such a, I like just doing long campaigns that can be never ending. Limiting it to 3 shots, huh? I think choosing a location, knowing what characters people want to play is a great way to start. For instance, if somebody really wants to be playing a noble who's being forced into a marriage that they don't want, then that itself is a great way to have it be character focused. So you can make a setting just inspired by the characters your players want to play. So it can be political intrigue, and then setting up different options like, okay, so this person wants to break away from a marriage, and this person wants to be like a sneaky thief. Maybe this character commissions, like, ends up getting news like, hey, I need help to escape. Can you help me because you know the underbelly of the city? And so then it would be a lot. And you have to think too, like, what do your players want? Do they want to be mostly role play? Do they want to be action heavy? And then focusing on that, then you could be, well, if it's action heavy, then that means that maybe when you're escaping through the sewers, there's rats, there's spiders, there's enemies, there's, you know, maybe a necromancer down there that they didn't expect that had moved in, and then they have to handle that. And so there's undead crawling through the sewers, and they're trying to leave the city, but maybe because of some conflict, it got shut down, so the city walls are really tight, you know. Or maybe you go from a more political stance. If you can make this character, this noble, prove their worth to their family and relieve some of their political pressure, then they would be able to live their life freely. Or maybe it's supporting their younger sibling, older sibling, and being able to support the family properly. So then it'd be focusing on trade, right? Like, let's say they aren't financially doing that well, and so this noble character needs a, like, when they marry off to the family's going to get a lot of money, and payments. God, I love asking for people for advice. I always get such good ideas. That's one of the reasons I love chatting with fellow creatives and being able to just like hear what's going on in their head, because it's just inspiring. It's really, really helpful. So, you know, handling trade, trying to make things better. So then it's like, all right, so this royal family specializes, like this noble family specializes in the trade of garments, but they haven't been able to get silk properly in, so then they have to find an alternative to that potentially. So then, you know, trying to find a way to barter it down, maybe covering these things, maybe changing from being clothiers to focusing on making accessories, because there's a lot of metal left over from a previous war. Maybe that can be melted down or used for cheap. You know, there's a lot of different ways that you can like set things up. I think one of the best things that help with DMing is to also just research a ton of just anything. Like anything that you're interested in, especially historically, it's fun. I think knowing, you know, oh wait, like knowing like the difference between hemp and cotton and the different uses it had historically versus how much water it uses. Like all these little things, like little facts of reality can be used. Economics, politics, geography, hydrogeology, like all of this is extremely useful to know, especially doing these things. Because like the more you understand reality, the easier it is to then form, you know, a reality around these players. I also, you know, if it's D&D, I do recommend reading some of the novels. It's also so important to gather inspiration. Like anything in your mind can be used for D&D. Like if you like a book, you can literally just sometimes steal the premise, be like, yoink. Yeah. There are some aspects of D&D. There are D&D novels, yeah. Dritz to Erden. The greatest. That's literally the greatest character of all time. And they're so well written. I'm gonna send it because he is a the Dritz to Erden series is one of the greatest of all time. It follows a dark elf who grew up in Menzoberranzan. It was written at the time of D&D 2, the second edition. So elves still have heat vision rather than dark vision, which I prefer immensely. Which I think makes way more fucking sense. But it's one of the greatest, like genuinely, like even outside of D&D, it's just one of the greatest fantasy series. It's beloved by pretty much anybody, and it really helps put into context how it works, because it's easy to get focused on the systems. Dritz Erden starts off in the Underdark in Menzoberranzan, and then he leaves, go to the surface, and then you get more and more. So he then goes to like Neverwinter, which is in the north, and like a lot of other things. So you get to, he goes all over the place, and so it helps a lot, especially if you're in the canonical setting of Faerûn. And it also, I like studying previous versions of D&D, because I know 5th edition is really popular, and then I think there's 2024 edition as well. I haven't really researched too much in 2024, I only know some aspects of it. But there's a lot of really, really cool things that existed in previous editions that are not being used or implemented in today's versions, which I think are useful. I forget what the exact word is, but there were specific classes and identities you could get if you fit very, very specific category, criterion. So, like, right now in current D&D, there isn't a way for a character to actually become a lich or an undead in a lot of different contexts. But it was possible in older editions because it wasn't as heavily structured. But it still is technically possible in later editions, so you have to be able to understand the context and lore enough to then homebrew with it still making sense in a greater context. But so, like, studying a previous edition, studying different written versions, and then also understand what worked, what didn't work helps too. There's a lot of different YouTubers and TikTokers and whatever media you're on who talk about this. Talk all about all these different cool things that were going on with D&D and previous versions. And it's just cool to look at what they're talking about and be like, yeah. I love D&D. I'm definitely partial to the north of D&D up the Sword Coast. But there's also just a lot more of the Sword Coast that's been written out. And there's a lot of really cool different places that have only been touched on briefly, so yeah, I think it's cool. I love D&D. All right, what the fuck am I writing? I literally haven't written anything. I just keep zoning out. But sometimes having a writing document open and just forcing yourself to think about things helps. Sometimes it's not about actually writing, it's about staring at a blank page. All right. I definitely would need to work on world building, but sorry, you mentioned D&D. My big mouth opened up. No, I'm always up for talking about D&D. And like one of the main reasons I stream, you know, is to chat. So if actually getting work done in a timely manner mattered right now, I would not be streaming. I'd be listening to like one track on loop, and then I would be just spending hours just on my laptop probably. Okay. Oh, I still haven't decided. I think I should take a break from D&D though. The social pressuring of being a DM, I can't handle right now. See, that's one of the reasons I like streaming, is there is absolutely no pressure or expectation of anything. I can do whatever and people just come in and out. And that's cool. Like, I like chatting with people. I'm always glad to see people. But it is like, it's whatever. Whoa. Okay. You know, when I say okay, or like all right, to like, all right, okay, I'm gonna do it, and then I just don't do anything. All right. Oh, Helsing soundtrack, help me. I should write more on the Ghost Town. I kind of wanna scrap a lot of what I have currently established. All right. See, that's the thing is, when I'm writing, I gotta be like vibing with it. I got bored the other day, and I just wanted to relax, so I started writing my own little isekai story. And it was fun. It was really dumb. And I wrote like 12 pages. I feel like one of the reasons why I'm struggling really hard right now is my Westeros fixation is like, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. So I'm like, huh. Because now I'm like, it would be kind of like a fun, like, I like being into series because I love, well, I'm a Yume Danchi, so it's fun to try and insert yourself into a story or like a variation of you, but still make it fit into canon, like, because there's so many gaps in stories and lore where you can definitely put yourself within a context without breaking any of the actual situations that happen. And especially because it's so fate heavy, it'd be interesting because even before, of course, I'm like, wow, Lionel Baratheon, like I still was really interested in the setting and being able to imagine, you know, trying to understand the context, all these locations, it helps. And it's also like good practice, especially for, you know, being a DM. So, I definitely want to be a... Well, one, I could always just keep my actual identity as Orti. Orti. But there's not any French last names like that. Just a second. Haha, haha. Thinking. Orti? Yeah, that's my name. Silly goose. That's literally my name, which means nettle in French. Matilda is just a regnal name, one that's given to you when you ascend to nobility. Though not everybody does that. What do you mean, ah? That's literally my lore. It's literally in every reference sheet. My name is Orti Louillier. Orti Louillier. Yeah, my most recent one. Regnal name, Matilda Mettie Portier. Human name, Orti Louillier. Born 1101, 1102 AD. Died 517, 1128 AD. Species, Nightmare Demon. Undead Ex-Human. Status, Mirren Margrave. Deceased. Sexuality and gender, bisexual demi-boy. Personality, nerdy, scatterbrained, sickly, creative, weird, passionate, daydreaming. I should have put capricious. Yeah. Yeah, but like my actual name is Orti. Matilda is just pretty. Mettie and Matilda is just what Christ has decided to give me. And also, if you've noticed, there's several different things that I wear that even have nettles embroidered on them. Or like parts of my design that have that. Also that morning glories, which morning glories, meaning in French, like the language of flowers, is unrequited love. Yo. Orti. Bleh. Yeah, so that's my human name. My brain's like, what if you opened Blender right now and started practicing and making like environments? No, that's not what we're focusing on right now. I literally just keep pouring myself cups of tea. The tea that I'm using right now, I'm using, like you only steep it for like 10 seconds, 5-10 seconds each. So I keep just like pouring tea. I have 4 cups, 4 tiny cups, actually. Let me show you my tiny little cups. Me and my tiny little cups. Okay. This is gonna be on. Is this gonna be captured? I'm like always like mildly terrified that when I turn on my hand cam. Just a second. I'm putting my face cam so it can't look at me. You gonna work, buddy? Just taking all of this on. Okay. So this is my tea tray that I'm using right now. And so like these are my cups. Here's my I've got tiny little hands, but there's my chubby little cat. And I got my tea. I got my tiny rotating teapot. Yeah. Alright. Alright, back to having a moving face. So I just keep drinking out of these tiny teacups. We're supposed to make it for a bunch of people, and so I had one of my housemates drinking with me in the morning. But she only had like 3 cups of tea, and then she said, all right, enough. Oh, wait, I have an idea. Okay, I'm gonna start working on Ghost Town shit, actually. So, I've been actually wondering, I've been kind of wanting to just write my lore as just a story, like a written text, because I don't want to have to draw. I don't want the pressure of having to draw a comic or work on an animation when I'm already have my own original comics I'm also working on. So I'm going to force people to read. I think that's probably the move. So I could always just work on that. I want it. Okay. But it's like how... I'm trying to think about how I want to write this. Oh, maybe about a short story would be nice, too. Mm-hmm. Okay, I also need to, like, actually to fucking settle on location names, too, because obviously the ghost town wasn't always called the ghost town. Fun fact, Villiers actually means the oiler, and I mean, my family used to be merchants who would sell and trade, oil. But not like oil under the earth, but like olive oil. Because it's inspired off of southern France, but it's not. Like southern France where it starts hugging the Alps. Okay. Well, how do I want to start it, right? Because do I start it when I'm young, or do I start it when I'm older, or do I jump through several different time periods, right? Because I've thought about this a few times, and I've written like a little bit of it where I was like, what if it was like the doctor, right? That starts it. Oh wait, I got a text. Also, I gotta actually come up with a name that doesn't dox the woman I love, because it feels weird to just call them that, because they're more than just the woman I love. They're like an actual person. They just texted me. They were traveling, and I was texting them like, good morning. Did you arrive safely? They're like, I love you. I made it here safe and sound. Start writing whenever you want to start writing. Do you have to start from the beginning? I don't know! Oh. I guess that's something too. I could just have it follow Chrysos. Chrysos is the fucking more interesting than me. I'm like... Alright, random ass fucking dude in the fucking 1100s. Has nightmares, dies at sea. Turns into a vengeful spirit and kills like a few hundred people. You know, I don't know, it's more interesting to go from Chrysos' end. Like, he's technically the main character. I mean, there's a reason why I'm not the main character. I'm just... Because, like, it makes my story have a lot more weight to it, because Chrysos had always been haunted by nightmares. But it really got worse when he watched his mother gets skinned and carved in front of him, because he's mixed with a sort of spiritual creature that is inspired off of snakes called Ouroboreans. So these sort of unusuals, these spiritual creatures, are like looked after for like their medicine. So usually people will pay high prices for their skins, and their body parts, and so it's like they try and turn them into medicine. So there's a bunch of poachers who try and kill these unusuals that walk amongst humans, but they are very rare. And Chrysos is half, but his mother had already reached menopause and couldn't have any more kids by the time the poachers found her. And so instead of kidnapping her and then selling her to a breeder of unusuals, because she had no use, they butchered her in front of him. And then he was still a teen at the time. They're like, oh, we're going to sell him to a breeder then, and so they can make their own mixes. However, he ended up pretty much escaping. And then he became horribly traumatized and couldn't trust anybody. And so then he pretty much lived on the road and would just continuously just ambush people and then beat the fuck out of them, steal their armor, anything of value, including their horse, and sell it. And then also started making his own living being a mercenary and also just, kidnapping people and, selling them for ransom back to their families, which was literally just what knights did back in that day. Hoping to eventually find a lord. And he eventually gets a lot of people following behind him. But he was still young when all of a sudden I came about. And I was like, hee hee, time to drive people to their death to feed me and my hate. And so then he's, as somebody who has been plagued by nightmares even long before me, I mean, that's something that, that's the whole reason I, can exist after that instance, is because he ends up being able to just make it so that I just live off of his nightmares, because he has PTSD nightmares every single fucking night. And I'm like, delicious. I would like to see your mother get skinned for the 5 millionth time, please. But also that means, because it's, I love it. Me and him become really good friends, though, because I'm one of the only people around him that aren't human. But it's he hates my guts at the same time, but I'm the only thing that comforts, because all of his men are humans. It's really rare, and he's been trying to find more. He wants to protect and save his fellow unusuals. But I'm the only one. And so I'm heh. But I just keep making problems because I'm trying to also worm out of his grip. But it's me, I'm the unusual. Hell yeah. And that's the thing, is the ghost town then becomes an actual spiritual location where ghosts and spirits can be. But it's not very good for people of the flesh because they are still prone to having nightmares all the time. But my physical body is in Chrysos's dungeon, pretty much. Because he ends up getting my body out of the sea. Oh, it's so easy to talk about these things and such a pain to actually write it out. Alright. Because I wanted to start off with the most intense fucking moments. My go-to method is make a list. I've done it before. I have I literally have bullet points of this is what happens, this is what happens, this is what happens. I have a timeline written out. But it's how do I... I definitely want to start with Chrysos's mother being murdered. If I were to make it a comic, it would literally be a scene of flashing in between of her body getting carved up by the poachers, and then his reaction, he's watching it all happen, and him screaming and pleading for them to stop. Immediate shock factor. I mean, they're oh, fuck. This dude's fucking traumatized. This is my type of main character. Hehe. What's the thing is, Chrysos actually has, moral motivations. right? Because me, there's no morality in the Medi. There's none. Well, Chrysos actually wants to make the world a better place. He's severely traumatized and he's so desperately trying to save others from what he has faced, even if it makes him jaded and he also doesn't treat humans well. And he has his own problems. He's a very great character, but he's still very motivated by positivity and goodness. Like he's aiming for a better future. While me, I'm like, I need to feed off of people suffering so bad. Mm-hmm. Is it just human suffering? No. I mean, well, I am technically also a necromancer, like, my cute little batoyans. I literally, like, they're literally bats that I grab and then I kill, and then I make them my little guys. But I usually drag it out. I think the only animal I did necromancy on that didn't suffer really was Fiddle. But that was more, I did that mostly because Chrysos thought it would be was next to me, and I'm like, wow, time to put this animal out of its suffering. But it was just, I don't know, it's kind of brutal when you see just your little guy that follows you around just decapitate a horse in one fellow move. He really doesn't like the fact that I named it Fiddle. I even hand-embroidered Fiddle head ferns all over its saddle. A funny little detail. He doesn't like my sense of humor. Alright. Alright, I wrote a few sentences. They didn't kill her right away. Even a wolf will silence its prey before it feasts. But these poachers, they relished in the sound of Chrysos' mother wailing as they took her apart, piece by piece. The unusual peoples who walked amongst humans rarely passed out when most humans would. Alright, I think that I'll probably change it later, but intensity. Yeah. Because that's like his main motivation. So it's important to make it, you know. I feel like it being the beginning makes sense. You know what? To get the vibe right, I'm switching from Hellsing soundtrack, and I'm gonna actually switch to I'm gonna switch to Eco Shadow the Classic soundtrack. Give it to me. Oh, Shadow the Colossus, my goat. The greatest. Okay. Hush. I want it to be... Oh god, it's in English! I don't know the English titles. Alright, it's gonna be a while. No. 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 Shadow of the Colossus. Like, no, no. I do like this one. There we go. There we go, there we go. There we go. I want to be somber. I need the somberness. All right. Can you hear me type alongside the effect of like the keyboard in the game? Because sometimes my mic does pick up my keyboard and I'm like, is it double keyboarding right now? I have two keyboards. I have a wired keyboard and then I have a Bluetooth keyboard, but I haven't used my Bluetooth keyboard in years. But I miss it. It has a kind of nice sound to it. I think it is what the modern day keyboard fans would call thocky? I don't know. I don't know. I'm always confused by like when people describe the sounds of keyboards. One of my favorite writing companions, like apps, is actually Bongo Cat, like off the Bongo Cat meme. It's like, it's a free thing where it just counts how many words you've typed, and then it keeps giving you like little customizable things to change how your Bongo Cat looks. I don't have it going right now, but if you ever want like to be rewarded for the more you write, I do recommend it. It's very, very cute. In fact, wait. I think I might be able to. Capture specific window. Bongo Cat. Does that work? Okay, why is it only this? Just a freaking moment. It's like transparent in real life. Oh. What button do I press? I think it's Alt to crop? Yeah. Yeah. I got my little guy with the little wizard hat. You'll go right here. There. Alright. This is what I have right now. Still probably gonna change. They didn't kill her right away. Even a wolf will silence its prey before it feasts. But these poachers, they relished in the sounds of Chrysos' mother wailing as they took her apart piece by piece. The unusual peoples who walked amongst humans rarely passed out when most humans would. An Ouroborean's body was considered an advanced medicine, especially for those seeking immortality. The longevity of an Ouroborean's life had granted its people a mythos to them that the common people spoke of. Humanoid spirits bearing a snake's likeness granted a life only shortened by external factors. Whether it was true or not, it's not entirely certain. Unusuals were exceedingly rare, and those with the financing to purchase from these poachers were incredibly limited. Chrysos was unlucky. Born half human and Ouroborean, yet inherited his mother's features far more strongly than his brother, who appeared no different from his human father. Yeah, I mean, pretty good. Could I be a lot more picky and be like, I don't like it? Yes. But perfectionism only makes everything else take longer. Oh, I gotta use the bathroom. Oh, God. Alright, just a second. Add existing. Okay. Okay. We'll be right back. I am back. Oh. I want to write a few pages today. But also, I don't know. Hello? Sola! Holy hell. He's here! War. How do you emote? How do you do there? Hi, Sola! Welcome in. Your character is so cute. I love it. The art style in this game makes me so happy. I'm currently trying to write, but it's hard. Eats ramen. Are you eating ramen? I want ramen. I do have some rice noodles I've cooked. I hope you've been doing good. You got this. Lock in. Oh, it's hard. I feel like my brain just keeps drifting around like crazy. It's so hard to focus. But I gotta actually work on my lore, and I know that the only way I'm ever going to release any lore is if I actually just have it written out, because I've been procrastinating forever on The Witch of Mirrors in the second chapter, and I just keep not doing it. And then animation's a pain in the ass, and ooh. Ideally, I'd do a lore video to put on YouTube, but I feel like, but writing, like, I read mostly, so. But I hope you're doing well, Sola. I hope today has been treating you well. I've been wanting to redo. Yeah, happy Friday. Free from the troubles of work. Just gonna draw tonight and play little games? Hell yeah. Sounds good. I was considering drawing and playing games, but then I'm like, should I write? Because I'm like, what would I draw? I don't know. I feel like I'm in one of those like creative slumps where I'm just like, I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to write? Do I want to draw? And like, I just feel like I'm just always staring at like a blank page or canvas for like hours. I'm like in one of those states. I'm writing slowly, but it's difficult. Alright. I also just came back from using the bathroom, so now I'm like, alright, time to get back in the zone again. Maybe this music is too mellow. I need something intense. I need something upsetting. Your character is hella cute. Thank you. This is the one that I did inspired off of this design, my medieval design. Got my bun. I can't wait till they add more clothing options. They're planning on adding more, and I'm like, yes, 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 yes. They had like a survey. Go ahead, like a survey that you could do, where it's like, what would you like from us? And one of the questions is like, we're thinking about adding a Steam workshop, and I'm like, oh. So you can then have like custom, you know, and I'm like, oh please, because I love the character creation, like character design options, but I want more. Because it still feels so limited. I crave more. I also love that you can have like several different character designs and you can like swap between them. Also different rooms. That's so good. I spent so much time designing my cafe and character. I definitely want to hang out in your cafe at some point. I'd love to hang out. But I also like working with you. It's fun. Us just working on our own things. It is soothing. For real, it's nice, thank you. Hee hee. Hell yeah. This room, it's funny, this room is very much off of the... It's pretty much just a bigger version of the room that I'm currently in. Like, there's some differences, but... Oh my god, I like having, like, clutter. If you haven't noticed. I'm like a collector of random fucking things. One of my friends that I've had for over a decade now, that I'm maybe one of my closest friends that I have, when he first went into the room that I'm in right now, like physical room I'm in right now, he compared it to, he goes like, this is like if Howl's bathroom from Howl's Moving Castle was a bedroom. And he's like, and I mean this as a compliment, but holy fuck, it's overwhelming in here. And I thought it was really funny because it's clean. It's just, there's so much weird ass things. OMG, I just noticed the Yu Yu Hakusho poster. I love it. Hee hee. I was thinking because I have a Yu Yu Hakusho poster in real life too. And I'm like, well, what series do I want? And then I'm like, wait, I can just put whatever series I want. Got the Steel Ball Run poster. Got Zelda, Twilight Princess. Paranoia Agent, Hellsing. What else? I got Call. Sakaichi Hotsukoi. I think also I got a lot. That's the cool thing too, is you can have whatever you want. At some point I'm gonna add even more like books and media. I like that you can like genuinely find the covers of different books that you have. I love it. The customizability in Go is just so good. Alright, I have 2 paragraphs done. I still want to readjust some things, but... They didn't kill her right away. Even a wolf will silence its prey before it feasts. But these poachers... They relished in the sounds of Christ's mother wailing as they took her apart, piece by piece. The unusual peoples who walked amongst humans rarely passed out when most humans would. An Ouroborean's body was considered an advanced medicine, especially for those seeking immortality. The longevity of an Ouroborean's life had granted its people a mythos to them that the common people spoke of, humanoid spirits bearing a snake's likeness, granted a life only shortened by external factors. Whether it was true or not was not entirely certain. Unusuals were exceedingly rare, and those with the financing to purchase them from these poachers were incredibly limited. Chrysos was unlucky. Born half-human and Ouroborean, he had inherited his mother's features far more strongly than his brother, who appeared no different from his human father. When the poachers ransacked their home, only him and his mother were taken. With his mother at an age where she could no longer produce offspring, him as a young Ouroborean was meant to be sold off to a breeder. His mother would end up dying there, in their butchering station. I'm here for the keyboard ASMR? Hell yeah. It's a cool feature. I was curious if you could also hear my keyboard alongside it. I love the sound of keyboards. It's something that I like a lot is when you're like writing and your fingers can fly. Lucy! Welcome in, welcome in! It is good to see you. The room is open if you are interested as well. So you can hang out. The code is in the Discord server. Also, feel free to just do whatever. Hanging out and chatting, or if you want to hang out and go as well, whatever you are comfortable with. I'm currently writing and working on my story and lore, which is fun because the main character is not me, so it's kind of nice because I'm more relevant. My story is far more interesting in the context of another, and I think that's cool. Ugh. My tummy is so full of tea. I love jasmine tea, though. It's a black jasmine tea, and it's really yummy. I got a giant tea sampling box from Jesse's Tea House, which is almost entirely just Chinese tea, which is nice. And it's yummy. I'll join later if you're still on Stranova now. Hell yeah. I hope you are winning. I hope you are thriving. And I hope you're having fun, too. Stranova is really fun to play. If I ever go quiet just because I'm writing, I'm like focused, I'm locked in. Actually, I just realized there's no music playing. It's literally just keep... You know what? Fuck it. Let's go with the music in-game. Most of it is lo-fi. Like they have a streamer mode. Cozy lo-fi as I'm writing about a guy who watched his mother get butchered and skinned in front of him. Wow. The gap. A real Mettie moment. That's a cute little emote. I need to add more emojis to my membership on here. I don't know if that's what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. Sub? But maybe my next Earth stream I'll be working on different emotes and emojis. I don't know what the terminology is. I'm not much of a... Besides streaming on Twitch, I'm rarely ever on Twitch. So it's a very different culture. I usually watch people stream on YouTube. I could fall asleep to this music? Hell yeah. Hey, if you're cozy and comfy enough to fall asleep, I mean, that's good. I'm like, just like vibing back and forth. Okay. Because some really nice music in Gogh. It's so cozy. There's something about these tracks in particular that reminds me of the game The Blob. Also, some of the tracks remind me a little bit of Mod Nation Racers. This feels like when driving down a long road next to a beach 7 p.m. this summer. Hell yeah. You're having a long day at work. Hell yeah. God, that's a good vibe. I miss summer. Winter is so boring, too cold. I like winter, but also I live in a place where winter is like very, like we got a a shit ton of snow today, and I got to see like deer covered in snow, and then I went out to feed them, and it's nice. In places where it's mostly just rainy, gray, and cold, and there's not too much to do outside, yeah, that wouldn't be too much fun. But I love winter. Summer is nice, but I actually suffer from seasonal depression in summer. Usually the heat and the sun is difficult for me. Then also my allergies get bad. My favorite seasons are autumn and winter. Autumn's definitely my favorite though, because I get to see the leaves change color. And I get to roast pumpkin seeds and get some cheap Halloween decorations. I love winter. But one of my favorite songs is actually California Dreamin'. And it's written by a British band where it's like, God, I wish I wasn't stuck in this fucking dreary-ass country. I would fly to California where it's nice and sunny right now. True. I guess cold weather is a good excuse to sit indoors. Expect cold starting cars, literally. It's like nice when you have a fireplace and you're drinking nice warm soup. Also, I mean, most of my attire that I like to wear is like, sweaters and blouses and jackets. And usually it's dark colors, so it's like, it's nice. Like right now I'm wearing like a really nice oversized cardigan. And it's just like so comfy. Also, it's such a pain to like escape the heat in the summer. It'll get so damn hot and then you're out and it's like, oh God, I'm about to fucking die. Well, if it's cold, it's like, all right, time to go underneath 5 million blankets. And also hot chocolate. I rarely drink cold drinks. Guess one, it's not good for the throat. It'll actually add more strain. So like I can drink a shit ton of hot chocolate and hot tea and if I'm not feeling well too, I'll drink hot chicken broth, bone broth. That makes me feel better. I love warm food though. But then on the other side, like summer is a great time for like the classic barbecue, right? Barbecue's okay. But it is nice to kind of go outside and just kind of grill food over an open flame. Like a fire pit is nice. We have a fire pit in the yard that sometimes, like we can throw potatoes into the coals and that's nice. I like cooking potatoes in a fire pit. And marshmallows. I like also the cicadas in the summer when they make loud ass noises. Oh, and there's a lot of cool birds that show up in the summer too. Every season has its good points. I struggle the most in spring and summer though, but my allergies go crazy. It's just nice to lay in a field and take it easy. Especially when it starts to get dark and fireflies start showing up. I like that feeling too. But in general, just laying in the field is nice. It's just cool I like to set up picnics too. Go to the park with some friends. Have a nice picnic. Cut up some fruits and make some sandwiches. Bring some juice in cups. I love picnics. What the fuck is the... Oh wait, that's what it is. I'm like, what the fuck is the... Like, there's captives? But what is the person who gets the captives? Capturers? Is that our word? I think it is. But then saying it, I think of like a camera. Capturer? It is. Okay. It's always funny when you haven't used a word really, but you know it exists, and then you're like, is that real? Or did I just make that up? That's one of the reasons why writing is good and reading is good, because it's like, oh. Yeah, that's right. That word does exist. Or you learn more words. Capti. Is capti a word? Capti. Yes! It's plural. One who has been captured. One who is held in captivity. Captive. Capti. That's one of the funny things of when you're like playing online Scrabble. And because you can like just fucking throw out the most random words that you don't even know exist. You're like, all right, can I, does this work? Is there points for that? And they'll tell you sometimes, most of the times in whatever version you're playing. And it'll be just like the fucking weirdest shit. What, I guessed that? Soulless big brand. Some people, they get it. And you get it. One of them was fetid. Who the heck uses that word? I use it! The other Wordle does it to me sometimes, giving us dumbass words. I love fetid. Like fetid wheat. That's a big thing. Actually, it's a big problem that I come across is when I am... Like, there was a time when one of the people I lived with wasn't closing things properly that was in the pantry. And one day I opened it up and it was the most fucking pungent fetid smell. And so I was like, something went wrong. And so it was actually a box of cream of wheat that ended up it was completely fetid and it was full of bugs and larvae. I'm trying to remember what type of bug. Weevils. I think it was weevils. I think about fetid a lot. It's really common to see, especially when it's like in historical contexts. But when you deal with like rot or things going wrong, like for instance, one of the reasons I've seen fetid a lot is because one of my favorite things is I love reading historical accounts of sailors, and so food doesn't keep that well on a ship. And a lot of things end up fitting into fetid. Yeah. There's a lot of interesting words. I like words. I like language. I wish I knew more languages, but I can never decide on one. I'm like, oh, I want to learn this language. I want to learn this language. I want to learn this language. I've gotten the farthest in French and Japanese, but I'm still far from being fluent. I mean, in French, I can read French. Can I speak French well? No. But I learned French in an academic setting, and usually people who learn a language in an academic setting but don't have much practical experience in a place that speaks it or watches just things with that language, they have the most shit accent and cannot speak properly. Well, with Japanese, I never studied it in an academic setting, but I have studied it on my own, and I've been told several times that I have really, really good Japanese pronunciation, but I watch a ton of interviews and like Japanese shows even beyond like anime, so. I want to learn American? Damn. You with an American accent would be fucking crazy. Is there a specific American dialect you're aiming for? Because it's like standard American. Super Bowl? Hell yeah. You just gotta watch the Super Bowl a ton, then just recreate it. What the fucking... What the hell is a kilometer? There's this one guy who posts YouTube shorts that keep getting recommended, where it's like a Korean guy who's like, when you're secretly American, and he keeps saying like ni howdy, but he has like a... Or is he Chinese? No, wait. Is he? What? Those are two differently distinct cultures. Different distinct locations. But he's like closeted American. He has like a blue cowboy hat, and he's like normal. He's like wearing normal street wear, and then he like puts it on. Like all of a sudden he turns around and he's like, howdy. And he has like a strong country accent. Wait, I want to see if I can find it. I'm sure if I search up howdy, and he literally says, what the fuck is a kilometer? And let me see. I can find him. Ni howdy guy. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's Chinese. Wait. I'm sending. Ford Mustang. He's so funny though with the fireworks. Yeah. I'm sending it into the meme channel. I love that dude. I love... That's the thing is, I think American culture is funny as fuck. I think that, obviously, I have problems with every single country and its politics, but that's also what it means just to critically think, right? But there's so much about American culture that's just funny as fuck. Like, it's the goofiest ass fucking country. The fuck do you mean that like an eagle noise is like, yeah, America? The fucking ads we have with the big ass trucks, and it's like, yeah, I'm a real American. I drive a Ford. And it's like them like barreling through, like they're like, eating a bag of Cheetos with chopsticks. It's so good. I fucking love that dude. I always love seeing his stuff. Also, I love when people come to America and they're like, what the fuck? Hi, Sabrina! Hi, guys. Why are you guys talking about Americans? Oh, because Solo was saying he wants to learn how to speak American. I want to learn American. And so then we were talking about that. I can't imagine Sola with an American accent, though. But... I'm American? Yeah. I am also American. But I talk very openly about being Anishinaabe, and that's Native American. That's one of the... So, I am both white and a Native. So, as American can get, in some ways. But I love when people come to America, and they get startled by the fucking long-ass medical ads we have, where it's like, Deprexis, a medicine for when you aren't feeling the greatest. And then it's like, it just doesn't stop, and then it hits like, please contact your doctor, just in case. Like, it's like, if you have a rash, please go and see a doctor immediately, because it can have life-threatening effects. If you are taking antidepressants, this can clash with it, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. Every time I think of America, I think of WWE SmackDown with the Triple H. Hell yeah. Sola, have you ever visited America? You go to like a WWE event in real time? That'd be actually really cool. I know we've talked about going to Vegas together. Oh my god, I was watching a video. Yeah! No, we're planning to go to Vegas to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Fuck yeah. I was watching a video of a guy staying in this one fucking famous-ass hotel that's like insane. It's like a circus-themed hotel that like originally was a circus in Vegas, and it's like cheap as fuck. But it's like, most of it is just fucking liminal spaces now. What is it called? Circus Hotel Vegas. The fucking video on it is great. Actually, I'm gonna send the link to it. Circus. And it's just so unsettling inside. And they have like a whole theme park, but it's just empty inside. Like they have this dome and they have like this old, oh my God, it is so weird. Like, but it used to have elephants that they trained to like pull slot machines with you, which is crazy. I'm British, Scottish, American, Native American, much more of a mix of many things. Hell yeah. For me, culturally, you know, I was raised in Anishinaabe. And then my father is white. I'll send a link to the Circus review because seeing people actually walk around it. Yeah, no, there's definitely an apparition going around that area. No, it's crazy. Is this what one? I think this is the video. Yeah, it's this guy that I watched. It's crazy inside. It's so unsettling. I love Vegas. I want to go someday. I'm gonna send him the recommendations. Also, is that a new model, Mettie? Kind of. I mean, it was released in January. I have 2 that I've been using. I'm not somebody who like does like, wow, new model, and then I like show it. Like, I don't have anything fancy like that. I just start using them. But it's because I make them on my own. I don't think it's anything like, this is just another step in me actually making what I want to make, so. Every time I make a VTuber model, it gets slightly better. But yeah, this is me in the 1500s. Either way, it looks good. Thank you. Yeah, this is the most recent one I've made. Me in the 1500s, aka when I first started existing in this form. I gotta go back to writing, but I don't wanna... I want to travel more throughout the US, especially because the borders of the US right now are kind of evil, so it's like, instead of being hassled with like border patrol, I could just go somewhere within the country. Vegas could be interesting. It's always cheap to fly there because my cousin's getting married. And I've been thinking really hard on whether or not I want to go. Because I have a shit ton of cousins that I'm close with, and you know, he's one of the people that I've hung out with the most, and you know, I've gone to so many of his other ceremonies, and his fiancée are really, really sweet, and they're gonna have like a traditional tea ceremony after it, and it just is, and also it's not in a church or cathedral, which is like awesome. It's going to actually be in a like a nature reserve and park, which will be nice. So I'm thinking about it, but the problem with America is in most places you gotta rent a car, and I don't want to rent a car. So I was thinking about asking my and also I like most of my cousins, but a lot of my family I just can't stand. But mental illness, you know. You can borrow my car. Thanks, Solo. I've been to Vegas? Hell yeah. Me when I'm like, hey Sola, can I borrow your car? And then all of a sudden it just like spawns in the south of the US. I just like all of a sudden get like shows up. It's like on the plane I'm on. That's the thing is like, I have a car, but then my parents' car stopped working. So now they're using my car. So now I don't have a car. I don't got a car, so I can't help. Having a car sucks. It's useful, but also, and I like driving, but also having a car sucks because it sucks. Forgot my sister's in the car, so she got sent to Vegas, and now you gotta look after her. I can do that. Wait, how did she? You know what? I'm not gonna question the logistics of that. I would look after your sister Solo. I'm literally a professional of looking after people. As an ex servant, it's literally was my job. Me being like a butler and live-in servant is one of the funniest things ever because it makes sense, but also it's like kind of funny that that's the only one of the few jobs I've ever had. But when you are sickly, you cannot have anything with a schedule, unfortunately. I feel like you would be a good babysitter, of course. I mean, I'm considered an uncle to a lot of my friends' kids. A lot of my friends have their own kids, and a lot of them are single mothers, so, you know, I love hanging out with them, but I'm extremely parentally protective. Like, I love kids. I'm very protective over kids, and that also includes just minors in general. Mettie officially is uncle. Yeah, like, that's something that, like, for me, I genuinely, if I had a different physical form, I would love to actually be a parent and have my own biological kids. And also, if I wasn't severely mentally ill, and didn't have my own health problems, I would love to adopt as well. Like, genuinely, this world sucks. And one of the things that I love is when you get to hang out with the youth and you get to hear what's going on with them, you know? I love whenever I'm hanging out with my nieces and nephews and they're just rambling and I just get to listen to them. And I used to help take care of the woman I love. She has a little sister that's like over a decade younger than her. And so I used to sleep over at her place and take care of her little sister. I don't know why did it look like I'm frowning so much? There we go. And so I used to look after her, and she was about 6 at the time. And so she was in elementary school. And it's so cool just hearing her talk about, well, just life. And I would help her with her studies and her homework. And, you know, she would complain about being bored. She's like, I don't want to do anything. I'm bored. And so I'd have to come up with little games. And so it was during autumn and like fall when she was just throwing a fit because she was just bored and she was waiting for her older sister to come home. But I'm like, no, we're going to pick them up at the bus stop. But hey, we can find out different things. And she's a very physically active kid. So I ended up setting it up where I'm like, hey, you want to practice some skills? Because she really wanted to go to the park. But I'm like, hey, your mom told me you can't go to the park. So why don't we do some things for fun? And so I had it so that she was tossing different types of candy into one of the candy bowls. And I would have her start closer up, and I would use one of the dog bones because they had 3 pit bulls. And I would place a dog bone behind her feet, and then every time she would get one in, I would move her further back. And so, you know, encouraging her and helping her, because it's clear, like, her mom was somebody who just didn't give a fuck about her and would just one of those classic sort of iPad kids moments where she's like, hey, just leave me alone. I want to do my own thing. And then would just give her daughter a device pretty much, or just like very shallow things. But obviously it's clear that what she wanted was just fucking people to care about her. Like, it's so weird that like people don't give a fuck about their kids, and it's driven me crazy my whole fucking life. She is such a wonderful kid, and she deserved so much better. She's now in high school though. Ooh. This seems like what my parents would do. Ooh. Like, that's the thing, is like, nothing matters more than being able to care about a kid and listen to them. Like, nothing made me happier seeing the art and seeing what she was working on in school. And, you know, we would go and I would help her take the bus, and we'd go to the park or go to the pool, and I would help encourage her and give her pointers like, oh yeah, you can do it this way. And like, obviously that's just one of the kids I've had in my life, and I just adore her so much. Now she's kind of a nightmare to deal with, but she's at that age. And also, like, you know, unfortunately, she is a victim of her environment and her mother not giving a fuck about her. Yeah, and then I have all of my friends' kids are much younger, but I mean, we used to go to this, like, we would rent out this, like, kind of cabin area sometimes, because it was part of, like, a pagan community that I would hang out with and give advice. My friend I talk about sometimes, who's in her 60s, I love her, she's a grandmother. She would, like, pretty much rent out these cabins for people, and they would show up and, you know, just discuss and work on things and meditate and stuff, and it was cool. And a lot of the women would, you know, my friends would bring their kids. And it was so fun, you know, explaining mushrooms and how they were growing up out of the ground and talking about grass and their formations. And that's the thing, is kids are awesome because they're curious. They ask so many questions. And so it's fun just to, like, anything they want to know. It's like, well, I don't know, but we can find out together. You know, just making sure they don't get hurt, explaining, you know, oh, wait, don't touch them. You know, explaining the danger of spores on mushrooms and mold and poison ivy and, you know, just explaining and seeing their eyes light up and seeing them draw things and seeing them just what they decide to get focused on. You know, I love anybody can be a teacher. And even though I was often teaching these kids and explaining things to them, they taught me a lot too. Because the perspective that youth brings, I mean, it's amazing how much you realize how much bias and how much problems you have as a person that the kid before you is unburdened by. Also, they can be so fucking funny. One of the boys, we were taking him to an event in, like, this downtown area because it was part of, like, a protest that his mom was taking place in. I was hanging out with him a lot, and he's like, I've never met anybody who talks as funny as you do. And it's just because I'm very, like, punctual and, like, very, I'm very, I don't know how to describe how I speak, but it's different. It's not as casual as most people. Like, there's a level of formality to it. And he just thought it was so funny. And it was so cute because he's like, wait, say this, say more things. I'm curious. Wait, talk about this thing. And it was just so cute. He was about, like, 4 at the time. I love him. I hope he's doing well. It's been a while since I've seen him, though. I love kids. But I'm very, very parentally protective over them as well. Got very strong parental instincts. Kids are so honest in the most innocent and mean ways. That's something that is definitely a strong suit of mine, is I do not take things personally if people say them. So, especially with kids, it's just, like, mostly amusing if they are just being very strange and mean. Alright. I gotta keep writing, but I keep just... I'm kind of, like, just enjoying the lo-fi that comes with Gogh. And then I do just keep pouring myself tea, but I just ran out of hot water, so I'm gonna have to get more or just stop drinking my tea. I brought the whole electric kettle in. Okay. Writing. Writing is always so difficult. I can't drink tea? What's going on with the tea? Do you have an allergic reaction to tea leaves? No, it's because of certain beliefs in your religion? Huh? Wait, that's crazy. Huh? If I remember correctly, I do believe I thought you were Christian. What denomination or what belief, if you don't mind me asking? I'm curious about that. You are? Interesting. I mean, huh. I wonder why, because tea is a part of pretty much every single culture. Is it because of caffeine? I know Mormons can't drink tea and coffee, but they drink soda. Latter-day Saints. Huh. That's so unfortunate. I can't even imagine. I mean, but tea culture is one of my favorite things. Almost every single culture has their own form of tea culture. I mean, us Anishinaabe didn't use, you know, tea tree leaves, but I mean, cedar tea, sweetgrass tea, you know, it's just hot water and a lot of different herbs. Though technically you can also choose to say herbal teas are tisanes. Oh, you're a Mormon. I see. That makes sense. Yeah, you have a lot of restrictions on you then. I always feel really bad for Mormons. But I mean, so much of what I love in life is completely banned by their belief systems. I have some friends that are ex-Mormons. I always feel bad for people who have a belief system or religion that is so quick to condemn others. Because, like, I feel like so much of what a lot of religions try to control and limit people experiencing are some beautiful things. Sometimes I wish I wasn't born in it. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have tea, I mean, God, it's so beautiful and incredible. Well, when you get older, and if you have the opportunity to live outside of, you know, where you currently are, you'll be able to experience more of life beyond it. Because the thing, too, is, like, the most important thing for any human being is to be kind to others, to be caring. I've had a coffee once in my life and I got in trouble. Aw, I'm sorry, Sabrina. I hope there can come a day where you can drink coffee and really enjoy it. There are some really, really delicious coffees. All these different variations, and there's so much cool coffee brewing culture too. I mean, oh my god, one of my close friends is a barista for like a kind of a high-end coffee place, and he loves getting into all these different, like, talking about coffee culture and how to brew different things and like the difference between espresso and all these different ways of making these things. It's a really beautiful. I want to try boba so much. I believe in you, Sabrina. I think that that can be a really good encouragement going forward too, you know. Obviously, I'm unaware of your financial position or what your family expects, but once you know, graduate high school, and especially if you go to college outside of even the area that you're in, especially one that isn't, you know, stuck in Mormon culture, you can get a boba. They're really yummy. The tapioca balls, and oh my gosh, and there's several different kinds too. My favorite is taro. I mean, not taro. Is that what they're called? Purple one. Because you deserve boba tea. It is yummy. What's the purple one? I want to try cookies and cream boba. One day, I believe, Sabrina, you'll get there. Yeah, taro. I was right. I just overthought it because I was thinking about tarot cards. I mean, I'm genuinely, I'm very, very sorry, Sabrina, that you were you're born to a culture and religion that is so restrictive on you. Because, I mean, what if you tripped and accidentally drank boba and ate cookies? Ah, yes. God, that would be awesome. Because the something too is like, I'm very much a firm believer that religion and spiritual belief should be something that you choose to get into. It's not something that you should be born into or forced into. Because, I mean, everybody's path and journey is different in life. For some people, they genuinely don't want to drink caffeine. They think of it as a bad thing. And that's cool. That's okay, right? If somebody doesn't want to drink coffee or tea, you know, I support them. But, you know, it's so cool, you know. I love hearing people's stories too of like, you know, being able to just be themselves. And then naturally down the line, if you decide that, hey, Buddhism, Taoism, Christianity vibes with you, that's cool. You know, that's awesome. Because religion can really make you have a nice structure to your life, but it shouldn't be something that you're forced into. You shouldn't feel like shit when you want something and you can't have it. You shouldn't feel like shit for just being yourself. Of course, there's also the problem with religions being anti-trans and anti-LGBT in general, because I always feel bad for people born within it who don't fit into that. I was blessed with parents who just allowed me to experience whatever. But both of my parents had studied a shit ton of religions and spiritualities, and I was raised in Anishinaabe, but that's, like, it is a spirituality, is a way of life, but it's also a culture, and there's a lot of things that go into it, but there aren't many restrictions with it. It's just kind of a mindset and a way to live, and a lot of Anishinaabe people don't even necessarily follow it. It's just, you know, there's so many stories and folk tales and beliefs that are into it, but it, you know, you aren't forced to follow exact path. It's nice. But I'm definitely Anishinaabe first and foremost, and then, I mean, probably the second thing that I follow the most is inspired off of Hermeticism and then also Buddhism and Taoism. It's fun. The problem is that my grandma is really religious, and I think my parents didn't want to cause issues, so they kind of had to have me and my siblings in the religion. Dang. That's unfortunate. That's one of the things that's unfortunate, is when you feel like you have to not disobey or disappoint your parents or your grandparents. That's rough. But I believe, Sabrina, in the future, you're gonna be able to enjoy so much of the yummy things in the world. Because my family doesn't even really go to church. Yeah. That sounds like it really is the case. Same here with my grandma when I was in the Philippines. Dang. Oh, so I wanted to ask, how old were you when you moved from the Philippines? I'm curious. Of course, feel free not to answer. That's just a question. I'm like, huh, I should ask Solo. Very curious. Very young. I see. Little by little, I'm acquiring more Sola lore. Well, young enough to know how things worked. I get it. I want to move to Germany. Interesting choice. Why Germany? The main reason I would want to visit Germany is because they have some really nice stationery stores. And I like pens and papers. One of my friends, his grandparents still live in Germany, so he often goes to visit them. Because of your partner? Oh, nice! Do they live in Germany? Yep. Aw, that's nice. I don't know if I want to... I think if I were to ever move out of the country, it would have to be if I had a partner in a different place. But even then, I mean, that's the thing is, like, as somebody who is Anishinaabe, like, if I leave this country, then there's gonna be one less fighter putting up the good fight, you know? Like, I don't want to abandon this country. I want to actively be a force of good within it, helping change our situations for the better. So I think I'll probably just continue to live in the US. But also, it's like, outside of the USA, shit also sucks. Can't afford housing in pretty much anywhere else either. And groceries are super expensive everywhere. And, like, no matter what, there's just a different set of problems, you know? And, you know, rather a demon you know than a demon you don't. Which the phrase pretty much means, if you know what the problems are well, in a country, you can know how to handle it. Like, if you know, like, a certain type of evil better, you know how to handle it easier, rather than going in blind. And, you know, I mean, I'm indigenous to this land. Despite the shit that's going on, I mean, it's even more of a reason to be here. And there's so many people that I gotta be here for, too. But, like, if I had... When I was younger, I actually wanted to... I would daydream about, actually going to school, part-time in Ireland. But I used to love studying Irish Gaelic, and I was really fascinated by a lot of the culture alongside the backgrounds and historical, you know, events that had gone on with Ireland. But would I actually move to Ireland? No, probably not. Care about talking about my grandma, she's here, gotta go. All right, good luck, Sabrina. I hope all goes well. It was good seeing you. Bye-bye, see you guys later. See you later, Sabrina. I've been writing very slowly, but I just keep deleting the sentences. I have not moved past 4 paragraphs. I just keep deleting sentences and rewriting them. I drew a tree? Hell yeah, hell fucking yeah. Shout out trees. Shout out to Oak, my homie. Hell fucking yeah. Is that your favorite tree, Solo? What's your favorite tree? Mine is white pine. But it makes really yummy tea. And there's a ton where I'm indigenous to. Mahogany Forever OG and my Unk Willow. Fuck yeah. God, mahogany trees are beautiful. Willow trees, there's this ancient willow that I used to visit at a park, me and my sister. And we just loved crawling up it. And its branches got so big that there was like little, like almost cuts in the arms where little plants would start growing out of. It was kind of like its own little basin inside of these, or like ravines inside of these branches that would grow its own life. And it was cool seeing like the different moss and lichen and mushrooms and even little sprouts beginning to form. Willow trees are so gorgeous. In mahogany, wow. Gorgeous trees. I especially love mahogany when it's also used in crafting. Mahogany furniture, especially if you find antique mahogany furniture, oh, that's some good shit. Oh, I just saw Losi opened up Go. The Socotra dragon tree is pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, another tree that I love a lot is I love maple trees. Because one of my favorite things in the world are spiders. And the place that I'm indigenous to is very, like, it's a huge part of, like, traditional culture is tapping maple trees and having, like, the maple sap that you then boil down to maple sugar. And when you have, like, the little buckets or, like, bags collecting the sap, it is really, really common for wolf spiders to drink the sweet sap. And so they'll fall in and drown. But it's really cool just being able to, like, not only do I find the sap yummy, it's also cool hanging out with the wolf spiders who are also like, yummy. But a lot of spiders actually have sweet tooths, which I love. They're so cute. Also, welcome in, Losi. The code for the Go server is in the Discord. Whenever you would like to join, if you would like to. I hope you were winning Sternova. I hope that win streak has been going strong and you had fun. I'm slowly writing, but mostly I'm just vibing to the music. Ooh! There he is! God, I think Go is so cool. Like, what do you mean I can have a funny little room and then my little pals can show up and hang out? We can work on things. I'm so excited for when they do more updates and more content gets released for it. It's just cozy. I definitely want to do more working streams, whether it's like art or writing or just like using Go while I like work on video editing and such. Exclamation mark? Oh, Lucy, do you have a favorite tree? I'm curious. I just realized I wrote trying right, not trying to write. That is not proper grammar. Favorite what? Favorite tree. Like, is there a tree that you go, I like that one a lot. T-R-E-E. Realize there are benches outside and they're super big. Oh, hell yeah. Banyan tree? Banyan tree? Although many people are creeped out by them. Ooh, I don't know if I've heard about it. Let me see. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. Oh. Now that is stunning. Wow. It reminds me of veins. Like human veins. That's so cool. Wow. Those are so cool. I can understand why they're creeped out. Because it is a lot more reminiscent of veins in, like, neuron systems. Like, there's a very, like, it's very... God, they're beautiful, though. That's fucking awesome. I'm, like, looking at pictures, I'm like, wow. That's so cool. I've never heard of them before. God, look at all those layers. All the vines. Oh, wait. Are they a form of ficus? Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah, their genus is ficus. Oh! So they're related to figs. Oh. That's awesome. Ficus is a really cool genus. All right, back to writing. Enough procrastinating by looking at trees. I love trees. I love plants, though, in general. I think... So my first tree, pine. White pine. Second is maple tree. And the third, definitely cedar. I love cedar trees. And cedar smells super, super good. It's also one of the main medicines in Anishinaabe prayer. It's sweetgrass, sage, cedar, and sweetgrass, sage, cedar, and tobacco. Those are the 4 main medicines you use based on variations of prayer. Of course, we have our own names for it because we're in words for it. Yeah, cedar tree smells really good. Mm-hmm. I love trees. Also, cedar tea is yummy, and also pine tea is also really yummy. BRB. Alright. I'll be here. I'm just writing. God, I love some of the music for this game. Alright, finally finished another paragraph. Oh. It's gonna take me 5 million years. But at least I'm listening to good jams and just hanging out. Thinking about the implications of the time period that I'm writing in. Because it's like alternate history Earth. Like fantasy Earth in some ways. It's not like exactly one-to-one, and it's like this region is inspired off of southern France by the Alps, but it isn't exact one-to-one, and it takes place like 1500 AD, and so roughly it's about the same time, which is like beginning of the Renaissance. And so I'm just thinking about the differences and how things were going at the time, and I'm trying to think about all these little details that go into it, and it's kind of difficult writing all these little details in because then I kind of forget little aspects, and I'm like, no, but... Oh god, I don't like how this is going, but I gotta keep writing. I'll fix it later. Sometimes I just gotta write it down and then I'll fix it later. Oh god. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Man, I'm cold as fuck. I sneezed and scared my cat. I got scared because I didn't know my cat was on my windowsill. Nah. I love your kitties. They're so cute. One of my cats hate when I sneeze. And so whenever I sneeze, he like gets startled and then he glares at me. And he's like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, he's so upset at me. It's like, I can't control that. You get on my Visca, she hates me? No, I'm sure she loves you in her own way. My Scarlet loves me though. Both of them are just sweet babies. One of them just isn't honest about it. Both of them are cuties though. I love cats. I've been wanting, there's this one cat that I saw in like one of the pet stores because I was with my friends and they were like looking for aquarium gear, and it was one of those pet stores where they have like, oh, these are cats up for adoption, and they're in these tiny like square cubicle like containers in the wall, and there's this giant cat. It's a short hair. It was a short hair cat, but it's literally the biggest cat I've ever seen. Super tall, super long, kind of muscular. It was so cute. It was gray and white, and it was like an adult cat, and it was so beautiful. And I was like, oh, baby, but it was like, he literally could not stand up entirely in that fucking box, and it just broke my heart. And I actually tried to adopt him, but the adoption center wanted all the cats to be vaccinated, and the cats I have in my house right now aren't mine, so I couldn't. I asked about whether or not we could get them vaccinated, but it's a lot of money to take them into the vet and get them vaccinated, so I couldn't save him. And I literally keep going onto the website just to see if somebody's adopted him, because I'm like, please somebody take care of this cat, please somebody take care of this cat, please somebody take care of this cat. He's still there. It's been 8 months. It's got me fucked up, dude. But so if I ever finally get my own place, I'm adopting that damn cat. Fucked up. For real, basically a prison cell. Literally, I feel so fucking bad for these cats, dude. If I could have more cats, I would, but no. I want so many animals, though. It's important for me not to overdo it, though, because I don't ever want to neglect any of my animals. Currently I live with 3 cats, all male boys. 2 of them are 14 and 1 is 15 this year. And then I have my, Chinese hamster, Jume. I don't know how old she is. I got her from a pet store. And they're already adults when they enter the pet store, and I have no idea how long she had been there. So she's at the very least a year old. I got her December 30th. Because my last one died, my daughter. my baby girl. She died on Christmas morning, which I'll never recover from. And then I quickly was like, I cannot deal with this. So I then pretty much rushed to set up and get another hamster. Because the worst thing about loss and losing an animal is the absence. Every single place where an animal has been, now it's empty. That's the worst. I had another cat that would be also 15 this year, and I had to put him down last year, and I still hear him just screaming around the place, and it just felt so quiet and empty. He used to want to get into the laundry room and then get up on the bins and then he would just scream and trying to see if he could like get mice to show up, because this house often has had an on-off mouse problem for years. Like, we keep patching it up, but they just keep chewing into the house. So he was our little hunter, and so yeah, that's the worst part of when you lose somebody, is all the places where they used to be. But you know, as a human, I think that's one of the greatest things you can do, is to take care of another life. Life is painful enough. Being able to make it so they only know love and they don't know food scarcity. You know, their tummies are always full. They're always full of love. They are full of just fun and get to play. You trying to make us cry? Maybe. So if I have a chance, you know, to take care of an animal and I have the resources and funding, I will. But I mean, why not? Life is already full of so much suffering. Why not make an innocent animal's life just be full of love and care and joy? So that they never, ever know a life where they don't know that somebody's looking after them and care about them. That's something I love about... Like, if I didn't have Zume... Oh, I love her. She's so chubby right now. I keep making sure that she's well fed because it's a bit colder in my room, and it's important not to let your hamster get too cold because they aren't made to like hibernate properly. So, you know, having her a little bit more padded, I have a space heater underneath her to help keep it warm. She's so cute. I love seeing her just run, and I keep rearranging her enclosure to make it always interesting. It's always cool seeing what's going on with her. She's always setting up different tunnel systems within her within all of her like wood chips and paper substrate. That's what I'm looking for. And all her little hay enclosures, and it's cool too, like making her own things too. I love also getting her little treats and seeing what she likes, because almost every hamster is just really fussy about what they eat. They all have very distinct taste. She really likes dried sweet potato, so I like giving her that. Jinyu liked melon seeds a lot. Dried melon seeds. It's interesting. I got her dried cucumbers the other day, and Jume was like, no, this is disgusting. Fuck you. And the funny thing is that like hamsters usually only live like 1 to 2 years. So if my baby girl doesn't like it, maybe the next one will. I love having animals. It's rough though when you lose them. I love hamsters though. But they're so fussy. They have such strong personalities. They're all so distinct. Jume is very much her own lady though. She hates being picked up. It was cute though. She has like this fat deposit on the back of her tail. She's the biggest Chinese hamster I've owned. And she's always just a little chunky. But she runs a ton. She's healthy. And so I took her to the vet because I'm like, oh god, could this be like a tumor and everything? And so I took her to the vet, and oh my god, she was so cute, because I was worried she was gonna bite. But She was so well-mannered, but she was terrified, and she had her hands clasped together. She looked like she was praying, and it was so cute. She was just so nervous, and the veterinarian kept like just rotating her and like just gently like just moving her. But she was so tiny. Both the veterinarian and her assistant were like absolutely in love with Jume because she was just so cute. She's tiny. My childhood friend that I talk about quite a lot, the 6'4" one, the 190 centimeters tall welder, she got to hold Jinyu before she passed, and her hands are huge, as you'd expect. And she held Jinyu, and she's like, "Oh my fucking god, this thing is tiny." And it was, it was so cute. She was so afraid of hurting her, just this giant, just holding this little girl. But Jinyu was, they're Chinese dwarf hamsters are very small. I don't use like a drip for them, like you see with some hamsters. I use glass tea candle holders that I got from the dollar store, and I cleaned really thoroughly. They're glass, they're completely safe. Because drips can be really frustrating for hamsters because it just drip. You have to like kind of force it out. So having just like a small dish of water that you can drink from that's more natural. I mean, usually they'd be drinking from puddles and streams. So, I mean, I'm somebody who tries to give my pets more realistic enclosures to what they would be experiencing in real life without having the dangers of them. Because it's like plastic tubes. Why would they want that? Usually they make their own tunnels in their own little locations. Jume loves making straight, vertical tunnels that go in and out. And she has some that is like right up to the glass of the enclosure. And so I'll just see her just zoom down these like little tunnels she's made. It's about 8 inches of substrate I have, so she can just have fun making tunnels. I love her. Oh, it's always cool seeing what they're doing. I love hamster. I didn't expect to get a Chinese hamster. I prepared for any hamster, whether it was Syrian, the largest, which is what you kind of associate with hamsters. But I wanted to prepare for any of them. And I went to the pet store before, and I didn't see that Chinese hamsters were even an option. There weren't any in stock. But then I got Jinyu. Like, I finally had everything set up, and I was like, all right, today's the day. And I went in, and I saw Jinyu's sister, and she was like a brown Chinese hamster. I'm like, oh, she's cute. And I was just like enthralled. I was like, oh my god, she's running. And then I asked one of the women working, I was like, hey, I'm looking to get a Chinese hamster, you know, like, could you help me get one, right? And she's like, oh, there's actually 2 in here. And I was like, oh, really? So I was actually originally planning to get her sister, and then she like rustled like just like an inch of substrate, and this beautiful, she had like, Jinyu had a very much like a white coat with like a little bit of gray, and she was just so beautiful, like she was very sleek, like very delicate looking, and she was just so pretty. And she like came out of the substrate startled awake, and I was like, oh my god, I need her. I saw her and I was like, this is the most important choice I'll ever make in my life. Like, it was just like every part of my body was like, this is the baby. This is my baby. And so I took her home, and oh my god, she was so cute because I was in the car and she was in her little box, and I could see her little nose peeking out of the holes. And I was at a red light, and I quickly took a picture. I've never driven so like carefully in my entire life. I didn't want to jostle her too much. And then I put her into her enclosure, and she could not get over it because it's huge. It's absolutely huge compared. And before it was like an inch of substrate she was in. And then now all of a sudden, my mom said because she was over when I got her, she was like, oh my god, it's like she got introduced to a whole penthouse. And it's like true, because like 8 inches of like substrate to bury into and make tunnels out of, several platforms with different hideaways, a sand dish for her to like roll around in. She had so much fun. She was so happy. she would drag around all the different furniture within it, especially the hay-shaped enclosures I got her. She would drag it around. She would try and drag them underneath the substrate too and like have her own little cave systems. She was cute. She was obsessed with interior design. I love her. I never expected to have that much of a bond with an animal, but she, oh, it was so heartbreaking when she passed because it was Christmas Eve. Sad story. So it was Christmas Eve and I went into my room to, look for presents because I had them in my closet and I was going to wrap them, put them away. And all of a sudden she came out and she was not feeling well. She was gaunt. She was very sickly looking and she went up to the glass and she kept trying to get out and she kept making a noise and I was like, oh, Ginny, but then I realized something was wrong and nothing was awake to take her in and I grabbed her and I held her and I kept trying to like water, you know, like I kept trying to like put her by things and be like anything, but she just wanted to be on me. And so I ended up just holding her and just desperately researching things for hours while she was laying on my chest and she was tucked underneath my neck and was laying even by my heart for a lot of it. And then she ended up passing literally a few minutes into Christmas Day. And that's why I don't celebrate Christmas anymore. But she was my baby. She loved, especially, she loved hearing me speak and she'd always come up. But she loved, there's nothing more she loved in this world than Stevie Wonder songs. I used to sing her Stevie Wonder all the time. And she would make these little chirping noise whenever she was happy. And she would just always want to be close to me while I sang to her. My little baby girl. My little daughter. I have over like 2,000 images. I only had her for a year and a half, and I had like 2,000 images and videos of her. And I've never had another pet quite like her. Forever my baby girl. I love animals. But that's my daughter. I love all my animals, but God, that was my baby. My sweet little Jinyu. Oh. I still haven't even finished the page. I'm still like rewriting the paragraph for this. I'm like, all right, sentence, and then I'm like, no. I think I'm losing my. Oh. Do I want to keep writing? I feel like I'm just grinding metal at this point. Like, I don't think there's a part of me that's like, you won't be able to do more on this right now. You know, in video games where it's like, your character cannot proceed further until this has been done. That's what it feels like right now. An invisible wall appears. You cannot proceed farther. All right, let's save this. Close that. All right, I still want to work on things. I don't know what. I should probably start working in advance on my next cover as well. I have a few that I've recorded, but I can always do thumbnails in advance. I've been really struggling recently with releasing cover songs because I used to do it weekly on every single Wednesday, but now I'm like, I don't know. How many do I have right now out? I only have 26 up. I have 26 covers. Yeah, 26. And I mean, there's songs I want to sing, but then I sing them, and then it's like, this isn't very good. I don't know. I think instead of having it be like a weekly thing, I think I'll probably just post them sporadically. Trying to do it every week is fine, but I don't know. I'm not really, oh, I gotta get in that grind. I need the numbers. I need this progress with, like, I don't know, YouTube. I like posting on YouTube. I think it's fun. But, so much to do. Alright. I could always draw, I guess. I could always art. I wrote almost a page. That's fine. Actually, sometimes I'll do this. Oh no! It froze! Oh, there we go. Add task. Right. That's done. Now, task. Draw. I'm so glad I'm not a student anymore. I'm so glad I don't have to worry about having to actually do shit. Like, that's the thing is, I am very much made for a freelancer lifestyle. Schedules, having to get things done in a timely manner. Horrible. Oh. I think I'm gonna change this. Same morning boost, let's switch. Yeah, let's go with this one, I guess. I love my little guy, the sleepy one. What's it called? Bum, 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 bum. I don't know what they're called. So just... Oh, wait! It's almost 3 hours. I could just end stream. Probably should actually keep my voice. Alright. I've had some progress today. So honestly, I feel like the hardest part of anything is just starting, right? And, you know, I'm getting somewhere. Usually I'm not as productive on stream, but I did want to just chat. Because I felt like I needed to be productive. But then it's like, well, I don't know. Okay. Thank you so much to everybody who has come by today. Thank you to everybody who has chatted. Thank you to the VOD watchers in the future. And I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye, everybody.